Hey everyone, Kunik here, back with another RPG horror story for you today. In this story, we have a player that gets accused of being a simp for some pretty ridiculous reasoning. And I won't say any more than that, so with that all said, let's roll for initiative and begin the story. This campaign took place over a period of 3 months. It was pretty good, but ended somewhat prematurely. As we found out last minute, we were too underleveled to take the final boss, but decided to anyway. C was the problem player, with S and I being the main targets. C was playing a lawful, stupid, good paladin. S was a neutral, evil tiefling. I was a fighter, and the other two players who were less important to the story were a wizard and a barbarian. They were bros, but didn't really actively participate in the story. We started off at level 3, and pretty quickly, C started antagonizing S, as despite not knowing her alignment, he had decided she was evil purely because she was a tiefling. While in universe, people were racist towards tiefling, there was a point where it was considered too much. Within the first hour, he had reached that point by trying to kill her, and at no point during the rest of the campaign did he try to get along with her, or find some common ground. Even when she attempted to reach out, he just wouldn't change his outlook on things, which should have been a red flag. But for the first month or so, I just thought he was doing a really good job playing a stubborn character. But when his out-of-character issues with me started, that's when I realized he wasn't just a good role player. C began referring to me as a traitor because S and I were getting along in character. We had similar backstories, and as they slowly became known, we mutually latched onto each other. Same traumas and such. That set into motion two things. One I love, and one I thought was hilarious. The one I thought was hilarious was C unironically calling me a simp. That's not a joke or an oversimplification. Out of character, he called me a simp. And at some point, he just sent me a message which said, "If you're not going to make a move, then get the heck out of my way." That's when it became obvious to me, in some ducked up way, by constantly talking down to her and trying to kill her because of her race and his own preconceived notions of that race, he wanted to develop a relationship with her. It was slightly mortifying, but he never really hurt her in real life. He was just weird and creepy and lived nowhere near her. This all came to a head when, near the end of the campaign, S realized she had feelings for the barmaid who worked at an inn we kept coming back to. C had a complete meltdown, screaming and crying. He took it super personally. This only happened a few weeks ago, so I can clearly remember him screaming, "We could have had something!" That secondhand embarrassment was very tangible. After that, he left, and that was it. He didn't come back, and the rest of the campaign went smoothly. Mostly. To end this off, I'll summarize the final session. I know it has nothing to do with the actual horror story, but I wanted to end it off on something of a good note. During the final boss fight, the barbarian and I died. The wizard went on to become a professor, and S finally got to live a somewhat normal life. She married the barmaid, and through magic, they had a son. This was the thing that made me happy. They named the son after my character, because in character, S considered my fighter to be something of a brother, and she wanted his memory to live on, even if he hadn't. I'm writing this a few hours after the session, and it's still doing something to me emotionally. End post. Yeah, player C broke the cardinal sin of trying to date one of the players at the table, but doing it in the most obtuse way possible. You know, the grade schooler way of just being a jerk to the person you like and thinking they're going to catch on to the hint of that you like them. Doesn't work like that in real life, and clearly he never learned that lesson in grade school. Normally I try to say to talk things out and, not end a relationship over this, but he flat out rage quit and hasn't come back or even tried to communicate with them since. So it's a bit of a two-way street. They could put their best foot forward to fix the issue, but if you don't want to be helped in the first place, no one's going to be able to fix that. Anyhow, that's all for this story. If you liked it and you want to see more videos just like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button and bell notification icon to be notified of my future videos. As always, the source of the video is in the description below, and while you wait for those future videos of mine, here are a few related videos that you can watch in the meantime.